if his head is right, Balotelli has to be the starting striker.
And probably the coach that could get him right is Mancini. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of FIF TV. It is me, Dov. He is Italian football journalist Vieri Capretta.
Ciao.
Not just any old Vieri Capretta, everybody. Right, so in this video we're going to talk about Roberto Mancini as the new Azzurri coach and what we think about it and things like that. But first, go on to the link below into the shop because there's the Azzurri collection where you can get some lovely merchandise from Forza Italian football with the Cannavaro, Baggio, who else is there? Paolo Rossi's there, and of course Il Maestro Andrea Pirlo. So buy some things, clocks, mugs, t-shirts.
Anything, just to remember when Italy used to win.
Yeah, exactly, literally, when Italy used to win. Obviously, Vieri, right, so no World Cup this year, so we've got a lovely free couple of months.
Plenty of time to restart a new project.
Exactly, and it started with Roberto Mancini officially confirmed as the new Italy coach. I want to ask you your thoughts first. Are you happy? Are you not happy? Is it good or bad?
I am happy for one reason. I looked at his press conference very closely and the enthusiasm he had. You know, it's a dream come through. It's I'm going to thank my parents. I'm going to thank my coaches, the players I've had.
His cats.
No, that kind of enthusiasm is what you need with the national team. Like, come on, we're talking about Italy. He's Italian. He wants the players to have that same kind of attitude. So I like that a lot. What I'm not convinced by is that he's very good at selecting players and managing them, which is usually good with a national team of the level of Italy historically. But this current group of players, this moment in history, we've got a team which isn't great. So someone like Antonio Conte, I think, would have done better because he takes the best out of the players.
Yeah. Well, looking at the alternatives then, because obviously the names that were banded around, I think the real ones we narrowed it down to Ancelotti, Conte, and Di Biagio, and also Mancini. I think Ancelotti looked at the group and thought, nah, this is not the best. Like it might.
I think he can get a big club level team still and then eventually go to the national team later on.
And I think with Conte, I don't think he was ever interested in. I think they contacted him, like you said.
He's been in it as well.
And he's done it
already,
before.
so
it's again one of those things.
Di Biagio would have been, I think, a good idea in terms of like Italy have a good tradition with federal coaches coming up, and even big national teams right now like Löw in Germany, Lopetegui for Spain. But he's not done good enough.
His performance basically let him down.
With the under 21, I think is the
yeah. And I think so that makes Mancini kind of like the only like alternative, really, the only person out of the ones that are.
Let's look also at what he's won. He's won a trophy everywhere he's been, from the Coppa Italia with Fiorentina in his first appointment to now where he didn't win anything with Zenit.
He was there for like 2 seconds. So.
But he's a winner, which means he's lucky. You know, there's components of it where he goes, he does well. So. That could be a positive.
He's not
aura
a bad coach. I think I'm not 100% convinced. Like he's not a bad coach.
He's not
but
bad.
He's not Ancelotti.
Look, he's not someone.
He's not a top level.
Or someone who takes an average group of players
and
to victory.
Yeah, he's not that type.
But he's done things like he's won the first title for City in 50 years. He brought Inter back to winning. Of course, making the most of Calciopoli. But he got, he didn't bottle those situations.
Yep.
And he's got a lot of. He was a great player, which could help in managing.
Well, I think as
individuals.
well. Yeah, exactly. I think that's one thing.
So far.
With players, especially nowadays with the egos that they have and how amazing they think they are, he can go in and say, "Listen, people, I'm Roberto Mancini. I've done this, and this as a player and as a coach."
Good. He's great at communicating.
What have you done? In
press conferences with journalists as well. And these are all differences from Ventura, who is very much. I don't know what to say. Even with some of the players, like I think Ventura was crashed by the ego.
Ventura was timid. Like in the press conferences I was at with him, the body language of him was horrible because it was almost like he resigned to losing before he did.
But imagine someone whose best result is coming 7th with Torino speaking to Buffon. What kind of authority is he going to have in the changing room? Whereas someone like Mancini has got it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's all good. And speaking of players now, we've had a look at what his ideal 11 could be, even in terms of the system, right?
Yeah.
So he's...
Well, the big one is obviously Mario Balotelli, everybody, is going to be back.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think inevitably
that was
so.
the big one. He said he's going to call him up again, and that was the big one.
He said that obviously he's the one who made Balotelli debut from the Primavera at Inter in 2008, I think.
Yeah.
2008 to 2009 was the season. And they've got a great relationship. He brought him to Manchester City as well. He won the title with him at Manchester City too.
Probably tried to take him to Zenit St. Petersburg as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a great relationship. Balotelli's matured. He's the last one who gave the big joy to Italian fans when he scored 2 goals against Germany in 2012. So we all know his potential. If his head is right, Balotelli has to be the starting striker.
And probably the coach that could get him right is Mancini. In terms of, and obviously Giuseppe Rossi could be in there as well. Hashtag go and look at the interview.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to be back.
Exactly, he wants to be back. But the formation that is pretty much likely to go with is going to be a 4-2-3-1,
which is his preferred system. He's always kind of used it.
Speculation as to what is going to be. Gazzetta had Donnarumma in goal, Florenzi, Bonucci, Chiellini, and then Crescito at left back. Then De Rossi, who he said he wants to talk to about possibly coming back, and with Pellegrini in the middle, possibly even probably De Rossi and Verratti, I think, with a full strength team. And then Chiesa, Bernardeschi, and Insigne behind Balotelli.
Pretty much.
I mean, that team, just from what Gazzetta have speculated, that's not a bad team.
It's not a bad team. I think there's 3 main points. Is we're not going to see a 3-man defense anymore,
which is good because I don't.
Just 2 midfielders, which that's ruling out a regista, which could be either De Rossi or Jorginho. But with 2 midfielders, you essentially need players who are 2 players who are able to do attack and defense very well, and nobody who's a la Pirlo.
Yeah.
And then 1 single striker, which could be Balotelli, and then Belotti and Immobile are the other
which
two
I think
alternatives.
really suits them. I think in terms of the way that those strikers are, they really suit.
They're all used to playing on their own up front. Yeah. And then a lot of quality in the trequartista kind of positions.
Yeah,
so
the 3 behind, you've got
Chiesa, Bernardeschi, Insigne, El Shaarawy, Verdi, Politano, who else? Cristante.
Candreva.
Candreva's experience in there. Even Bonaventura.
Yeah, I think as well
there's options.
You've got players that could kind of come in and go out. You've got kind of like Chiesa can easily go down the right side as can
They can play everywhere, yeah,
and
pretty much. Bernardeschi is another player who's played everywhere in behind the striker. So I think that's what we're looking at, and obviously we'll have a taste pretty soon with the friendlies. And good luck, Mancini. What else can we say?
Yeah, well, exactly. It can only get better. Literally, it cannot get any worse. Obviously, I think they play Saudi Arabia and Switzerland just after the Champions League. Then they go to Nice to play I think they go to Nice to play France, and then Turin to play Holland. So he's got 2.
And then Poland on the 7th of September is the Nations League.
Yeah, so he's got
first official
Nations League, first proper game for a while. So he's got 2 games there against 2 really good opponents in which you can kind of test and see where this team are. Because I think that's probably what he'll do first: get a group of players together and see how much work he has to do. And I think he's got a lot of work to do. I think actually a lot of people have kind of said about De Rossi coming back. I think it's a good thing for De Rossi to come back, because when you go through the team that kind of we mentioned is very young, there aren't very many leaders there. Bonucci, Chiellini, and De Rossi, I think, is a good core to have.
I agree, and at the same time, we're talking. Let's talk about what the pitch says. De Rossi's had one of his best seasons, taken Roma to the Champions League semi-final. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Let's be honest.
That's what you need. That's what you need. So, what do you think? Are you happy with Mancini? You're not happy with Mancini? What about the squad? What would be your ideal Italy 11? Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Remember, follow us on social media and watch our interview with Giuseppe Rossi, who could be in the international setup very soon.
Hopefully.
Let's hope. So until the next video, there's nothing else left for me to say apart from arrivederci.